Good morning. In November of 2008, after I was elected to the Board of Supervisors, but before I was sworn in office, I went on a Long Beach vacation and brought one book with me, The Mayor of Castro Street, and learned about the phone calls that were made, learned about someone who is not just an icon within the LGBT community, but as we know, someone who is an icon to all of San Francisco, for our entire country, for our shared progressive values. When I was in my early 20s, I lost a close friend who took her own life. My guess is every single one of us here has someone who falls within that category. And what the Trevor Project is doing to ensure that these tragedies that we will and may never be able to explain or understand, that these tragedies happen no more. That because of the work of the amazing staff here, because of the work of the community that is standing in front of us today, we will hopefully someday be able to talk about a time, not just here in San Francisco, not just here in our country, but a time when throughout the world, young people will not have to question, young people will not have to feel that they're alone. And so I do have, on behalf of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, a certificate of honor to all of you, to the Trevor Lifeline Harvey Milk Call Center for the opening of this incredibly important institution, which will join other Trevor Lifeline facilities throughout the country in providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention outreach to young members of the LGBTQ community. Because of the work that you're doing, the Board of Supervisors, we want to extend our highest commendation and appreciation for your crucial work and for continuing the legacy of Harvey Milk. Thank you very much.
You and the Trevor Project, not only to our neighborhood, but to our city. And Lance and Cleve, thank you for your clear vision of how this space could be used to best benefit all the young people who are in need of Trevor's attention and assistance, help, and of course Harvey's message of hope. And to know that you'll be doing it here on Castro Street, within our neighborhood, at Harvey's old desk, really moves the spirit. Thank you.
I have the honor of representing this district at City Hall and following in the footsteps of people like Mark Leno and Bevan Dufty and Harry Britt and Harvey Milk. And one thing that I always try to keep in mind, that I like to remind people, no one is ever going to fill the shoes of Harvey Milk. He was an original, he was unique, and and to try to fill those shoes, I think, is impossible. But what we can do is try to remember what Harvey Milk stood for. And one of the things he stood for was welcoming our young people into our neighborhood, into our community.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much to the city of San Francisco and to this neighborhood, the Castro, for making this call to action, saying, hey, let's have actual services inside of Harvey Milk's old camera shop. So thank you to the city of San Francisco for doing that. And for when you heard this idea to put the Trevor Project in here, to honor that message of Harvey Milk's, that message of spreading hope to the hopeless, of having a place for these kids to call when they felt hopeless, that the city of San Francisco and this community said, yes, that's a great idea. Let's get the Trevor Project inside of Harvey Milk's old camera shop. And today it's a reality, so thank you very, very, very much. All right, so I mean, I think a lot of people know how important it's been for me over most of the past decade to revive and to make sure that Harvey Milk's legacy and his stories survive. Because I think it's an important story. It's a story of spreading hope to the hopeless. And until we have full civil rights, full equality for all gay and lesbian people across this country, we have to have this safety net for those who aren't in places where they have mentors to turn to, or a gay and lesbian family, or infrastructure to turn to. We need places like this. And that mission of keeping that story alive has been incredibly important to me. So this day is filled with poetry. This day is incredibly special to me and to all of us here. But it's made even more special by who we have with us. Because, you know, I never was able to meet Harvey Milk. I could only hear the stories of Harvey Milk and to read about Harvey Milk. But today with us, we have most of the people who were friends and allies of Harvey's back in the day. Not the least of which we have, and I hope you'll come up and join me, Frank Robinson. Frank. Hey Frank, come up here. Frank Robinson actually wrote the Hope speech with Harvey Milk. Frank Robinson made that call to action. He made that call to action that we are answering here today. And we have Danny Nicoletta, who ran the camera shop back in the day with Harvey Milk and who's been documenting this movement for generations now. And I would call him up here, but he's still out there documenting it right now. And of course, Cleve Jones, who was agitating for Harvey Milk's election back in the day. And when this call to action to get this call center put in here came up, Cleve Jones started agitating once again, and I'm sure he's out there agitating somewhere right now. But last but certainly not least, it's my great honor to introduce Harvey Milk's old campaign manager and his political aide, the woman who literally answered those phone calls for help back in the day over 30 years ago. It's my great honor to introduce today Anne Kronenberg.
Thank you all. It is an honor to be here today, and I thank Lance, who has kept Harvey's story going for years, or will be, I think forever. I was at a meeting last week. I'd been at the health department, probably you all know that, but I took over Department of Emergency Management in January. And we had a group from Christchurch, New Zealand come in to see how we do emergency preparedness because their town has been totally destroyed. And they were here for the week, and so I met with them during the week. And on the last day, it blew my mind. It's like everybody said, Anne, we want a picture with you. I'm like, why do you want a picture with me? I mean, I'm emergency management. It's like, no, we own the DVD. We read Randy Schildt's book. We've got it's like, you're famous. I was, Lance, that's you. But New Zealand, I mean, it kind of blows your mind when you think about all over the world, people know Harvey's story because of the movie. We had the documentary, which was wonderful, but Going Hollywood and the incredible job that Lance and Gus did in putting this together, being so close to exactly what happened is just amazing. So I want to thank all the folks from Hollywood who made this happen. I want to thank all of Harvey's friends. We've already called them out. Picked up the phone and had some young man from some other part of the world calling and very, very upset, and I give it to Harvey. And that was, I think that's the thing that he liked the most about being elected, the fact that he really could reach out and help people and that he could make a difference in someone's life. And the Trevor Project and the Harvey Milk Call Center are going to keep on doing that, and I'm just thrilled that we're here in Harvey's shop and can continue that tradition. So happy Harvey Milk Day, one and all. Thanks for coming.
The Harvey Milk Call Center is officially open. Thank you all for coming.
They have their
suicide, how to support Trevor, how to volunteer with Trevor. No, this is actually a unique system that they had created for various it's information that's not very similar to what you find on the website, but it's more for an interactive. You're in a space and have exactly. The door actually to the call center does stay closed and locked. Nobody.
Hi, Tina. Wonderful. I'm the program director.
Oh, excellent.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Maybe I'll see you again. Sure. That's very exciting. 4 seats.
All sing happy birthday to Harvey?
Oh, yes!
Okay.
Happy birthday.